It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Call us on your cell phone. Culinary Hotline Bling. That can only mean one thing.
Welcome back, you beautiful souls. I can see you're ready for it. Private performance from none other than PJ Powers. I can see you both got into that. What a platform to launch our culinary hotline bling. Ting, ting, ting. Jenny and Anil, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Guys, I have to warn you, there's a glint in the eye today. Something special, so just brace yourselves. But we'd love to hear from you as well. 021-430-9881. If you've got any cooking conundrums, we've got a powerhouse panel with us this morning. So please give us a call. But we're going to start on our social media platform this morning. We're going to hit Facebook first, and we've had some great questions coming up. So both of you can weigh in at any time.
Yeah.
But let's start with D. Mokwena. And this one I think is it's echoed by a lot of people out there, including myself. How do I make my cake not flop after I take it out of the oven? Don't look. Should we leave it there, or are you actually going to offer some kind of credible advice here?
I think the important thing is to make sure that you've cooked it at the right temperature for the right length of time. That's 100%. So it's set properly, and that you've actually tested it with a penny kit so it comes out clean. You know.
So is that the test, that when you poke it with a little stick or whatever you poke with your knife, that it comes out and it's completely clean, that nothing is sticking to it?
It cooks from the outside in. And I think the important thing is it's also about structure, Anel.
Yeah.
It's a science. So sometimes we think, I'll put a little bit more flour, or I'll put a little bit more butter or sugar. Don't do that.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
It is a science, yeah. People must remember that. You can't just fiddle with a cake. Weet met die hoeveelhede van die koek nie.
Only once it has been baked. We're going to leave it right there and move on to Spongile and Glela, who also wrote to us on Facebook. She was asking how to make carrot cake frosting. I tried, but it didn't match with the flavors in the cake.
Well, darling, do you want to go?
No, you can go. You tell me your secret first.
So she gets to go first. Ladies first. All right. What I do is I always... it's 3 ingredients for me.
Yeah.
It's cream cheese, it's butter, and it's icing sugar.
And butter and cream cheese both?
Yes.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
terrible, but that's why they call me Betty Butterleg. But seriously, I break up the cream cheese a little bit, and then I add the butter to it, and then take it away from any whipping thing, and I slowly stir, so you don't break it down. And I slowly stir, sifted
the cream cheese and the sweet's going to give you a nice balance to the flavour profile of the carrot cake, which is sweet but not too sweet. There's a bit of savoury in there as well. I love that. Then lastly, this one coming from Shannon de Fillet, but I'm going to say de Filet because it's the cooking conundrums. De Fillet. I would please like to know how to get butter icing smooth. Mine is always grainy. I hope the cooking girls can help. Thank you for that question.
I think the first thing is not to use caster sugar. They must use icing sugar because there's a huge difference between caster sugar and icing sugar.
Granular
if you use caster sugar, it is going to be granular and thingy. But I think the one thing that Jenny mentioned already is sift your icing. You have to sift your icing powder. You have to sift it. You know, your butter moet jy nie in die microwave in terugbring or cold and hot. And it needs to be room temperature and it needs to be fluffy, and then you fold your icing in.
That is the absolute secret. It can't be cold. It should be at room temperature. And don't overbeat it because it does split.
Yes,
and
it splits.
I said that, that it needs to be at room temperature. Ladies, you do not disappoint. Of course, the Cooking Conundrum hotline is open 021-430-9881. Give us a call. We'd love to hear from you on the Culinary Hotline. Bling.
Ting, ting, ting.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Call us on your cell phone. Culinary Hotline Bling.
So the Culinary Hotline Bling.
Ting, ting, ting.
Did I actually get a ting from you this time? Come on, Jenny. Come on, Jenny. No, it's open. The line is open 021-430-9881. But we've got Manita on the line right now from beautiful Durbs. Manita, very good morning, you beautiful thing. How are you doing?
I'm good, and you?
Very good. We have got our expert cooking panel here ready to answer your conundrum. What's your question this morning?
Okay, a very quick question. I have mixed my eggs, my butter, my margarine, my sugar, and I beat the entire thing together. And then I realized I've taken up the wrong flour. So I had to go back to the freezer where I always store my flour and took it out. Can I just use it immediately or wait till it gets to room temperature?
Go
You
for
know,
it.
yeah.
Thanks, Manita. Yeah.
Yes, flour is a dry ingredient, so it takes up moisture. So to keep it fresh, you put it in the freezer. It's a very good thing that you do it.
Well
put
done,
it in
yeah.
the freezer, yeah. But I would keep it get it to room temperature. With baking, the secret is eggs room temperature, butter room temperature, flour room temperature.
With other wet ingredients that she so painstakingly mixed together, will they be all right just sitting, waiting for that butter to reach
As
room
long-
temperature, or does she need to get fresh
No,
ingredients?
as long as it doesn't have baking powder or bicarbonate, she's good.
Yeah, you can keep that. Remember, it's just eggs, butter, and sugar. So it's butter, sugar first, and then you put your eggs one by one in. So that mixture niks kan met dit
Yeah,
oorkom.
and there's no egg white,
Yes,
so
yes.
it's good.
Manita, just wait. Basically,
be
just
patient.
wait for that flour to reach room temperature, but you already ticked a major box by keeping the flour in the freezer. So well done there. Clearly, we have an expert baker there,
Yes.
so hopefully this has helped you progress even further. Then we've got another question coming through on Facebook. This one coming from Tsepang Matabane. Quite an interesting one. I love pancakes, but I don't think I've ever in my life, my many years of being on this planet, been able to actually make one that is flop-free. What is the right temperature that is essential to cook a pancake?
Well, you know, the thing is, you need a hot pan to start, but it mustn't be piping hot because you're going to burn it. Okay, so you need a lovely hot pan. You always put that first one in as a test. And
Which
then,
looks like a flapjack in my case.
Exactly.
It's never a pancake,
Yeah.
it's always a flapjack.
And then once it's in, there's a tip here. Don't turn it. You must only turn a pancake once, because when you are turning that pancake, because you've got all those lovely air bubbles and all that gluten is nice and relaxed, you're just knocking the air out of it. So that's a tip as well. To get a lovely light and airy pancake is just turn it once. It cooks once again like a cake from the outside in.
So, how high is hot temperature on an oven like this, a convection oven, or something that's using temperature
Yeah.
scales? How hot would you put it?
I would put it like between medium and hot, because it does get hot. And another tip I would give is to use a non-stick pan as well.
Okay, yeah.
Please invest in a good non-stick pan.
Yes.
I promise you,
And
it's going
in
to change
terms
your
of
life.
the batter, anything that you would put in there that kind of helps beyond the flop?
If you do a pancake, an opgerolde pannenkoek, you know that you
Yeah.
put cinnamon on.
Yeah.
I
Is there
like
any
to put
other
a bit
way?
of oil in my dough
Yes.
so it doesn't stick to the pan. So I think about a half a cup of oil to quite a big batch,
Yes.
a batch of pancakes in. But if you talk about the little flapjacks, then you put butter in.
Yes, I was
goes-
gonna say.
Yes, butter in.
So just give it a natural oil to help lubricate there, but use non-stick and a medium to high heat.
Yes.
I'm going to put this to the test after the show.
Please
As
do.
Mel would say, we don't want our batter to be too thingy. We don't like the thingy batter.
I'm so sorry about that thingy, Graham.
Oh, we love it. We love hearing from you guys. Manita, thank you so much for that question. We've got the line still open, 021-430-9881. Do you have a cooking conundrum for our culinary hotline panel? Culinary hotline, bling!
Ting, ting, ting.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Call us on your cell phone. Culinary hotline bling. That can only mean one
That
thing.
only means one thing. We've got a caller on the line right now. Faye from the Mother City. Good morning, Faye. How are you doing?
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. What's your question?
I'd like to find out if I have cream over of the previous day, fresh cream, and I want to use it again. Why does it go runny? What can I add in there to keep it stiff? I listen to your answer on the radio. Thank you.
Have you whipped it beforehand, Faye?
I've used it the previous day, but I do have some over that I want to use again. But it's gone a bit runny. So what can I add in there to keep it stiff again?
I think the only way to get cream stiff again is by whipping it again. I don't think you can, because cream is something that goes stiff when you whip it.
Too much whipping. Will it separate? Will something happen to
If
it
you
after
think
that?
about cream and buttermilk and how things separate, you've always got the whey.
Yeah.
There's always some kind of liquid there. And if you're using it for something sweet, then she could just add a bit of icing sugar
Yeah.
to it as well to just give it a bit of structure.
Yes,
backbone.
yes. But I think check the date on it, because if you used it yesterday and it's already this today, then... Hello?
Yeah, remember, it's super
Yeah.
fresh as well. But hopefully that's answered your question. Safety first, Faye, safety first. But thank you so much for weighing in. I've got to ask this question. Did you like that? Did you like
I
that?
like that. Well done.
I'm so in tune now with this. I love it. Something, and this is quite a cool question, and it's also a little bit self-indulgent, coming from Debbie Ferguson on Facebook, asking, morning, beautiful ladies, first of all. Thank you, you're beautiful as well. I love liver and onion smoor, but my liver sticks to the pan and the flour keeps coming off. What am I doing wrong? Please, she asked with desperation.
I I just like to dust my liver with a bit of flour, but then the pan needs to be hot, non-stick pan again, and with a like groot nub of butter in it, and then flash fry it. Jenny, what do you?
That's it. I do. And one thing I would suggest, maybe the flours flying off. There's a little membrane that you have over the liver. So if you soak it in a little bit of salt water, some people do it in milk.
Milk, yeah.
Rip that off. And like Anel says, you only want a light dusting. It's not a battered.
Yes.
Hot pan, as you say. Definitely lashings of butter.
Butter.
Maybe just a little drop of olive oil so the butter doesn't burn. And yum.
And the milk is quite nice because it takes away some of that kind of irony flavour as well, which is quite nice. Absolutely beautiful. So now I can jump onto a hot topic for winter. It's all about soups. You can really kind of jump in with any of these. We've got a whole ton of soup categories. I don't know, maybe I can ask you to focus on, because we've got a limited amount of time. What is your favourite soup?
You know, I love a broth, I have to say, with like bone broth, things like that. So for me, a bone broth is lovely with lots of textured chopped veggies in it.
Yes.
I like Asian style.
Yes, my husband likes a creamy soup again. So you start up with like a bechamel type of sauce, and you can make it, and you can do like onions, you can do mushrooms, anything like, in tomato as well, a creamy tomato soup. But that's also pureed, so it's also type of a pureed soup that you add a bit of cream.
Yes.
And just very quickly, what's the difference between a soup and a chowder?
A chowder's chunky, baby. It's got nice things in it that you can bite.
Yeah, that is groot.
I'm going to make hopefully not flapjacks, pancakes for breakfast and chowder for dinner, and I'm going to round it off with some tomato soup. Guys, thank you so much. We've got one more segment coming your way. We'll continue on the soup trend, but give us a call 021 430 9881.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Call us on your cell phone. Culinary Hotline Bling.
Well, this morning we're honoured to have all the way from Durban, KwaZulu-Natal's finest musical talent, Thokozani Mhlambi, who is set to perform a Zulu song cycle in a once-off concert in Cape Town on the 26th of May. Now, he is here to talk about the inspiration and the compilation, of course. Thokozani, so good to have you on the show this morning.
I'm very happy to have you
Oh, my
here on the
goodness.
show.
Bright and early, but listen, you're going to be performing, or rather putting together a Zulu song cycle. Do you want to tell us how exactly it's going to take place and what was the idea behind it?
Well, I guess, firstly, I'm very happy to be on the show.
We're very happy to have you.
I always imagined it on a very sunny day and I could be outside, but
I'm
unfortunately...
sorry. I'm sorry. We need rain. Come on.
We did the rain, we
Yes.
did. So, song cycle is a very common kind of format in the Western classical tradition.
Yeah.
What composers like Beethoven and Schubert and them would do is that they would compile songs based on their folk traditions that are happening in their countries, and then use those songs towards creating a whole compilation of songs.
Yeah.
And then that would be called a song cycle.
Yeah.
And so now I'm doing the same, but using Zulu text and Zulu text.
Oh, that's amazing.
Because the Zulu language is a very tonal language.
Yeah.
It's got a lot of music in it already.
Love it.
And so the song cycle then is a compilation of Zulu songs that are then presented in a performance context.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Now, I know that you've presented workshops all around the world, but classical music opened to non-Western sounds and instruments. How have you incorporated that?
Well, I guess for me, as a Zulu-speaking person and African myself, I needed to find a way with this Western classical training to find myself in it.
Course.
And so then through my travels and through meeting different creative people around the world, I began to bring those traditions in with me into the music I make.
That's amazing.
Whether it's Asian influences or Swedish folk music or West African drumming, that kind of stuff began to feed into my creative energy.
What are you hoping your audience is going to take away from the show?
I hope my audience is going to take away an opening up of their perspectives in terms of African performance traditions, but also understanding how we only have the tools that are in our hands. So we cannot start from zero. Whether it's people saying they want to start schooling again and decolonial education, but you can only start from the context that you are in now. You cannot recreate a whole new context. Me, as someone who was trained in classical music for so many years, I couldn't now take that away and now say, I want to learn a drum, an African drum, because this tradition is not my heritage. Yeah.
Well, awesome. Thokozani is going to be at the Baxter Theatre on the 26th of May, a one-night-only performance, and all of the details are currently on your screen. But stay tuned because he's going to be ending off the show with a very beautiful performance.
So our final segment of the Culinary Hotline, we are stirring the soup this morning with these saucy ladies, Jenny and Anel, two absolute geniuses, GDI, in the kitchen. We've had some great questions coming through, and I'm going to throw a couple of mine in to the hat because, you know, soup is awesome. You can make a big batch, but you want to be able to keep it then and put in all of that hard effort. How do you freeze a soup without it being destroyed? Because when you reheat it, you don't want it to be all like watery and separated. What's the deal?
Do you know what the thing is? You are going to lose something when you freeze it. Now, here's a little tip, because there's not a lot of freezer space. So get yourself a Tupperware, little square box, the size that you want. Put the plastic bag in there, put it, and then freeze it in that box to get the shape, number one. And then always thin it out or add volume to it by using stock. Don't put water. People dilute the flavour with water.
See, I've done that before.
Yeah, don't do it. Do it. You milk or stock or whatever you want to do, and then you can have all these beautiful little blocks filling your freezer, all the same shape and the same size. Yeah,
It can freeze easily.
Yes.
I like the portion, like to do it in like portions.
Yes.
Because I want soup and my husband doesn't want soup, so I vat net 'n bakkie and I'm hungry, so I quickly warm it up and
And then he sees you eating your soup, and then he suddenly wants soup, and then you can take out another little bakkie. I love that. This is something because I eat far too much salt and love it. I'm that flavour palate. My girlfriend, not so much, and I often over-season my soup. How do you address it? How do you rebalance the flavour profile of a soup if you've gone too far?
I think the first thing you must do is put some extra vegetables or something inside, or extra ingredients inside. So it's going to take a bit longer, so you put extra potatoes, especially potatoes, extra vegetables to actually take up that salt, to actually
Absorb
the salt.
Yeah.
And then the other thing, the flavours are sweet, salty, sour. So if you add a bit of lemon juice as well, it also dilutes the salty taste a bit. It balances it.
Very much
Just keep
so.
tasting.
Yeah.
Just
And
keep
noodles,
tasting.
you can turn it into a noodle soup. Noodles, very good, yeah.
Clever idea.
One piece of advice for making the best soup ever, just from the personal files of Anel and Jenny.
Mine is Sunday nights after the weekend. I've got all these vegetables in my fridge that you see tomatie, daar's 'n wortel, daar's 'n aardappel. I put it all in a pot. And Sundays I cook my soup for the week.
Timing is
Called
everything.
stone soup.
Yeah.
Stone soup, I love that.
Why do you call it stone soup?
Because you've got nothing. You've only got the little bits and pieces and pieces.
And you just
That's
whore it
clever.
all together. Ladies,
Yeah.
you are geniuses in the kitchen. Thank you so much for joining us this
Thank
morning and
you,
bringing a little
thank you.
kitchen sass to our culinary hotline. Bling!
Ting, ting, ting.